This is SEA's response to the Springfield School District's contract offer, which they published on June 26th of 2025. First, to find the school board's full offer, go to www.ssdcougars.org. A pop-up window will show up on your screen, and follow the prompt to click here, and you can see their offer. So the first part talks about contract terms and salary increases. The beginning of the statement discusses the 5-year term of the agreement and the salary increases offered by the district. These are true. However, we're going to discuss this asterisk a little bit later in the slides. Salary increases amount to an average of 3.55%. Districts in Delco that have recently settled contracts have averaged 4.22% salary increases. And here you can see Springfield's offer compared to some of the other districts. The last part of their offer about retirement, tuition reimbursement, and additional agreements are all true and agreed upon. The board also discussed secondary supervision, and their claim is also true, although SEA has offered 2 days out of a cycle of 6 days. That said, teachers' time would be better spent preparing lessons, but we have offered this time since the district has expressed a need. The net realized salary comment is where things become misleading. The district's statement about net realized salary is true if you ignore some important information. First, most people work a career for more than 10 years. While working in SSD would net more money in the beginning of a career, most top districts catch up and pass SSD in total earnings over the course of a career. Even accounting for the board's increased offer, top salaries in surrounding districts are 4 to 5% higher than SSD. When half of your career is at the top step, and your top step is lower than others, you earn less in your career than other districts. This can be seen in the graph at the bottom right. SSD teachers start competitively high, but are overtaken by mid-career and end up earning less over the course of a full career. The commentary about medical benefits is very misleading. A sliver of this statement is true. Other top districts in the area do pay a 13.55% co-share in healthcare premiums on average. However, most of the top districts do not have a high deductible health plan. They pay a premium share, but they also receive insurance coverage immediately. In Springfield School District, we pay 100% of the costs of our medical expenses up until the deductible is met. This is not an apples to apples comparison. The district switched to a high deductible plan 2 contracts ago precisely because it cost them less money. This is a false equivalence. The district also claims that annual step movement is much like a bonus in the business world. That's not true. First off, there's no pay for performance in teaching. If that were the case, Springfield teachers specifically would be doing quite well based on their amazing performance. However, our salary schedule increases each year, along with increasing for degrees earned like master's degrees and doctorates, and seniority. There are a few large bump steps near the top of the salary schedule. This happens in Springfield. This happens in basically every other district as well. So as a teacher goes on to step, let's say 13, 14, 15, those bump steps have pretty large increases, but once you pass those, you never get them again. Your salary only grows slightly for the rest of your career. So reading through the district's commentary, the district's overall strategy in attempting to explain their offer is to compare our contract with the business world. We are not in the business world. We wouldn't compare a business person's contract to a baseball player's contract, just like we wouldn't compare a business person's contract with a teacher's contract. They are inherently different, and their jobs are inherently different. They're choosing to do this because if they do compare our contract to other teacher contracts, they know it compares unfavorably. And just as a reminder, this has been discussed at length, but they do have the money to close the gap. The district never denied that they had the means to meet our offer. To their credit, they've done a good job of keeping their finances neat. but this allows them to invest in a super important area and keep SSD competitive. So how did the district do with their explanation? They tried to educate you by posting their offer and their commentary online. Unfortunately, they decided to try and educate you better than the educators that just got a blue ribbon, and they can't do it. I hope that this helps to clear things up. And in closing, in the academic world, we cite our information and sources. If you want to dig deeper into the facts, scan the QR code and you'll find lots of useful information. Thank you for watching.